can't do anything. If I laughed too loud, it would disturb him. If he heard my footsteps, he couldn't get to work. Every morning I would sneak into my mom's room so that I wouldn't have to be alone while I was awake.
Where to go? So the opening shot is really cool, how it's shot from the father's point of view. She's hunted from these memories, her father who abused her, and she relives the moment that she kills him and is now dealing with this vengeful ghost of her father. We use the therapy sessions in this as a way to provide exposition, introduce the therapist character, who is someone she's finally able to confide all these things that she has been hoping and harboring into. The ending is also very cool because it's very unknown. Like with the father appearing sort of behind her, it makes us think, was the father really dead this whole time? Has the father been alive this whole time? Is this a ghost? What is going on? It just kind of really played into, that thriller horror factor. And I really thought it was well performed from all the, specifically from um, the, the character playing the daughter.
Nowhere to Go. I thought this was intense and I thought that it was appropriately terrifying. Um, Overall, I thought that it was a great show of how much something can really stick with you and how much it can haunt you from your childhood up into your adult years, and those experiences, even when we're young, can really make a big deal in shaping who you are and shaping how you view the world, and like I said, can really just kind of stay with you. And I loved all of the work that they did with the therapist. I thought that was great, and it showed a lot of great kind of techniques, and the therapist are like really trying to help her and showing her that like she's not alone, someone's there with her, and wants to be the person that's there for her as she's trying to kind of battle and go through this like really really hard process of not only talking about but also processing what actually happened to her in her childhood and what she was kind of pushed to do, and having to live with that. And then I loved at the very end, the therapist obviously cared and was taking the kind of appropriate steps, calling 911, and knew that she was going to be felt like she was going to be a danger to herself, and like went to go find her, and all of those steps as a professional would. But then having the moment at the very very end, like I said, I thought was appropriately terrifying. And I think that that's what they were going for. But I really really liked it. Like I said, I thought it was really intense, but I think that that again is what they were going for.
Nowhere to Go showcases a story of abuse and ultimately not being able to potentially overcome this living with abuse. And it gives you this plot twist of what is real and what is not real. And I think that is a very nice way to encapsulate this experience, because often when people go through abuse, there's gaslighting, and people are often led to believe that what they think is the truth is not really necessarily the truth. It's being manipulated and leading them to believe that they may in fact be crazy with their thoughts and their way of thinking. And so we get to have this nice relationship between this character and her therapist. And she is a journal, she journals, and this is the way that she can express her truth. And so she leaves the journal behind with the therapist, and the therapist then gets to be brought into the truth in the story, and which is the way that we as the audience get to find out what is actually the truth and what is going on with this character and this individual, to which we find the story of her receiving abuse from her father. And it's led to believe that she has potentially murdered her father in an act of safety, and can't handle this sense of the story of her doing this act, therefore wants to take her own life. And so we come across this situation of the therapist coming to the home and seeing that this girl has potentially unalived herself and is trying to get ambulances on the way, when we see this nice plot twist ending of the father walking in behind the therapist, which makes the audience wonder, is he dead or alive? Is she going to make it? There's a lot of questions and a lot of buildup at the very end here, and then it just, it ends. There's nowhere to go. It's kind of giving you that feeling of it closed in, and there's a lot at play here and a lot of questioning. And I feel like that's really encapsulating of what that experience is like for people that go through abuse. There's a lot of overthinking, a lot of different outcomes that people get worried about, and this is a world that they know. And sometimes getting out of that world could, unfortunately, there is a huge percentage of people who can't handle it. And I think the filmmakers do a really good job in representing these different pockets of challenges when it comes to abuse between a father and their child.
This film is called Nowhere to Go. This was a scary but brilliant short. Wow, the story is heartbreaking, and you can totally feel for the main character who has experienced terrible abuse. The casting was excellent, and the performers really fit the bill. The vulnerable girl and young woman, the warm therapist, and the dangerous father. The film created suspense with its frightening soundtrack and quick editing. Well done. Nowhere to Go. Check out this very important film.